this beautiful, gorgeous setup. Before we introduce these extraordinary women, I'm actually going to start with something a little different. I want to invite everyone to arrive. We all came from such a busy morning, school runs, conversations, meetings, whatever is on your list. It's important to give ourselves that moment that's yours so we can all arrive together so we're ready for the conversation and what's to come. And before we begin, I want to ask all of you to remember or notice anything that you saw in the collection today, whether it's like a fabric or a detail or a color that really called something in you, something that resonated. And I want you to hold that and we'll come back to it. So please, if you can lower your gaze or close your eyes, whatever is comfortable for you. Settle in your space. Take one slow breath in. And let it go. Focus on your breath, the one that is always there, and notice it. Feel your feet on the floor, the weight of the chair beneath you. Let the room actually hold you for a moment. You don't have to hold yourself right now. You can let go of that just for this moment. Notice what you can feel. The warmth of your cup, if it's still in your hands, the fabric of your clothes against your skin, the air in this room. You are here in this beautiful space, in this beautiful morning, not anywhere else, but here. Now bring that piece from the collection, the one that stopped you even for a second. Ask yourself gently, why did that call me? What was it speaking to? Maybe it was the color, something you've been craving. Maybe it was the softness or the strength. Maybe you don't have words for it yet. That's completely fine. Just notice that something in you recognized something in that garment. That recognition, that is a part of you becoming. Place one hand on your heart, lightly, and ask yourself without pressure, without needing an answer, what is alive in me this morning? Not what I need to do, not what I'm managing, not what people need from me today, but what is alive in me. Whatever is alive in you right now, bring it into this room. It's welcome here, all of it, all of you. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and bring your gaze back up. Welcome, you are here, and that's the beginning of becoming. Thank you so much. So this morning you walked through a collection called Saba, which means in Arabic, it's a breeze from the east that arrives gently, very quietly, and you have to be still to feel it. And that is our invitation for you this morning. So I want to introduce you to two extraordinary women coming from two very different worlds that arrived from different journeys to the same place. We have Saina Babaee, who is an executive at Siemens Energy, and she's also the founder of Ilái Sarái, the collection that you see today, which is rooted in culture, in her heritage, and also part of Sufi traditions. Ilái, it means the moon of the tribe, and Sarái means house. And based on the philosophy of her brand, identity is not something you arrive at, it's something you are always becoming. And that is something we witness in Saina's daily practice. Zeina El Dana is the founder and CEO of Z7 Communications, a leading PR communications agency that she founded in 2007, where she really shaped the way that luxury brands show up in the region. And what is remarkable about her is not just her outward journey, but also her inner journey that really defines and sets the foundation of how she leads. She's also one of Saina's advisors, and we're so pleased to have you both today. So three industries, one conversation, and this is the art of becoming today. So welcome. Thank you. So Saina, you move between two very different worlds. One, you're leading energy transformations at Siemens Energy in the day as an executive, and then you're also the founder of Ilái Sarái, a brand that's really rooted in your heritage and identity. And you talk about setting a daily practice of intentions across all dimensions of your life. What is that practice, and how has it helped you lead from the inside out?
Thank you for the beautiful intro, Reem. Made me a bit emotional as well. I realized being a mom of two, being driven by my schedule at Siemens Energy and Ilái Sarái, I was truly being driven by my schedule. I was even trying to schedule my meditation. Like I wake up, I sit 20 minutes, I have Joe Dispenza meditation, then I run. And I realized it was all about doing, running, chasing my daily, rather than being. And it took a lot of teaching from an amazing, we call a priestess that came to my life, thanks to Zeina as well, to sit and feel and start my days exactly with the somatic exercises and connect to my body first. We wake up in the morning, first we connect to our phone, then you hear the scream of the children, whether it's joy or like the fight, and you're being driven by that. But I set the intention, and it took me months to sit with that, to wake up and connect to my body first and look into it and see what's in the surface. When I close my eyes and I ask myself, what's alive in me today? Where do I feel? I let that lead me to set the intentions. And it was the prompt behind this journal that we gifted at launch, because Ilái Sarái is the art of becoming, not as a tag. It's because it's part of me and it's part of the brand as well. We are refining it, and then we share it with a wider community as well. But the daily prompts that I wrote here, where I was like facing it as well. What am I resisting today? What am I avoiding? What can I let go? When do I feel most alive? What feels good today? And we go through seasons. You know, there are days that like what feels good is going for a workout. Sometimes it's calling a friend. Sometimes it's just being present and mindful. Sometimes today I'm going to put boundaries. But the guide is my body and what's alive in me. And then yesterday we had a dialogue, and I said it, I'm repeating it again. These days we outsource our bodily feelings to our Whoop watches. So before even connecting, you wake up and you look, how did I sleep last night? But our body is the best compass. So in short, I listen to my body, and my body guides me. What does the becoming prompt of the day for me is?
It's that awareness and that centeredness.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Zeina, you talked about a shift that happened with you in the last 5 months, in this 5 months of stillness. And something's emerged that you hadn't noticed before. Maybe the pace of life was hiding that. What came up for you, and how did that shift the way that you lead?
First, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. Thank you, Saina, for this opportunity, for having us here together. And congrats on the beautiful collection. So it's been a journey. We're all on a journey. And we get to experience so many aspects of ourselves. And in the past year, I traveled a lot. There was a lot of traveling. There was a lot of movement. And when the end of the year came, I was like, oh, I need to rest. I need to take a break. And what was a month of rest ended up being 5 months of being in Dubai, which for me is very rare to be in one place in my home for that long. And that brought beautiful surprises that I never expected. It's not that I planned it. It's just like when I stood still and stopped deciding of what's next. You've heard of the decision fatigue. I mean, I suffer from that a lot. Mm-hmm. So the minute I stopped having to make decisions of where I'm going next and what I'm doing next and what I'm planning, just like this whole weight off my shoulder just like went down. It's like, wow, this is refreshing. I don't have to make decisions because I broke I had a fracture in my little toe. So it was like, it's out of my control. I don't have to decide for a while, So it's just, I was helped in basically living this experience. And in the past 5 months, I felt that I have been focused on being here, not planning what's next. So it brought a new perspective of what being present in my life is and how to inhabit actually my life, because I felt like we're not just one being, we are so many beings, and we can explore so many things in our life and we can go too far here, too far there. And then at some point, it's like we have this moment of reflection, and that these 5 months gave this to me. It's like, what do I really want from my life? And it brought so much clarity and so much grounded energy that I'm living life in a completely different way. And it's so exciting for me right now because I'm excited about small little things, about conversations, about look at my dog, about, any even challenges that are happening in my life, which I think we all face a lot of challenges. Is like, how am I actually showing up to this experience? And even the war, when it started, we've all have been preparing ourselves all our lives for this moment. So we are able to actually take care of everything happening in our lives. And that reflection and that realization just brought me much more to myself, to my home, to my family, to my team, to my friends. And it's just been a whole new chapter, and that I'm very grateful for.
That stillness is a real gift.
Yeah.
It allowed things to emerge.
Yes.
And thinking about reflecting on kind of how you lead from within, from a place of centeredness, it's also important to think now how you lead teams. You both have teams that you have to lead and show up for. And we live in a very volatile, complex environment these days, especially recently. And it really calls upon leaders to show up and be present for that team, because when you come, they also feel that energy. And thinking about leading teams, what kind of practices do you use to make sure that you have that centeredness when you walk into that room with your team?
Reem, even before walking to the office, I realized when I'm not centered and grounded, the whole house is not centered. You wake up and the kids are shouting. If you're not in alignment, times that I'm exhausted, or you go out and like you slept long, you wake up the morning after, feel particularly as women, we are holding this container, we are holding the space, starting at home, and then it's walking to the office as well. When I took over my previous role at Siemens Energy, I had to run a business that was 40 million short in revenue. And I had no choice because it's the order entry of last year I had to deliver. And I was in fear. I was like, what am I going to do? How we are going to meet the profit targets. And I was leading with fear and a lot of chaos at the beginning. And it would trickle down in the team. We would have meetings where people were shouting at each other. And it was a wake-up call for me to see, and a book you gifted me ages ago, Mastering Leadership, that the high-performing team are the ones that have leaders that are leading at a unitive level. And how can you lead a team if you don't lead yourself? You walk into work with the brain saboteurs you have. So one practice that really helped me a lot, and it was like opened my eyes to a lot of leadership groundedness, was the PQ, the positive intelligence training. I got to know my brain more, and I realized that I have massive saboteurs in my brain. So the test shows you what your brain saboteurs are, what stops you from being happy or successful. And mine were controlling, perfectionist, overachiever, and awareness is 30% of it. And I realized that how perfectionist I am. And I saw it in both Ilái Sarái and at Siemens on a daily basis. When you're a perfectionist, people don't want to disappoint you, and you're controlling and you're an overachiever. So people were out of their ways just to keep me happy. And I asked our operation manager a while back, I looked at the invoice and I was like, we've spent 3,000 pounds on prototypes, one after the other. And she's like, you said you want to put it on that celebrity, and we had to go out of our ways to make it happen because we didn't want to disappoint you. And a while back, I was listening to Victoria Beckham, and she said the exact same thing. You know, she seems to have the same saboteurs as mine, that people don't want to disappoint you.
And Zeina, what about you? How do you approach leading your teams in these times? What do you think? What do you found that resonates or works well?
So one main pillar has been trust. From the very early days of setting my business, of course it takes time when you first start a business. It's been 20 years that I had my business, so it's been a while, but trust is it's been a very important part of my journey with my business and my team. And it's been a beautiful to witness my team really stepping in and leading the business. And as I was traveling a lot last year and all of that, I get to even witness it from even more distance. And then I realized, okay, this is so beautiful because I have such a beautiful structure, beautiful team, and everything is running in such a beautiful way. What can I do here? Because after 20 years, you're not still running the operation of a business. I mean, it's not that, it's more leadership. And how do I show up to my team? And I feel especially now with the kind of how we've been all facing these kind of times of change. How do I show up in that? And for me, it was showing up in presence. We're not here to tell people what to do, or everyone wants to be heard, to be seen, and to be witnessed, and to be valued. And for me, it was a moment where I stepped back into full presence, into I'm here, and we're here to support you. We're here as a leadership team to support you. There's an alignment in how we're doing things, and clarity and transparency, and just showing up and knowing that we are here and I am here to support my team on whatever is needed. And it doesn't have to be by saying much, it's just being there and knowing that we are here and we are looking after everything in the best way possible and in the most transparent, and bring as much clarity as we can in how we're doing things.
And it talks about leadership role modeling, right? You role model that to your team, so then it enables that unity and that trust that helps build that trust.
And coming back to Saina's and how she's mentioning, you're mentioning about how it's important to be centered. Imagine they say what's inside is outside, right? And if there's so much chaos inside and so much uncertainty and fear, that's what we actually spreading around us, and that's create a fear, because we're all in the same field, especially when you're working in groups and you're working in right now we are in the same field, and in the company it's the same thing, in a family it's the same. So, and you notice very easily with kids, and I notice so the more we are doing the intention of being conscious of our lives and who we are and how we're feeling, and addressing the things that we don't want to see, and which are usually the tough things to kind of face, then we are able to show up to everyone else around us in more clarity and bringing that to them as well. So for sure.
And you both touched upon kind of that operating from fear or operating from love. And there's such a shift, right? When you're operating from fear, like you said, that controlling, it's very limiting. And you're not able to expand and welcome, that growth or abundance. But when you operate from a place of love, it really is expansive, and your teams and the creative zone, right, comes out, and you're able to really see the beauty and the growth and the potential from that zone. So it's true. I think that centeredness and groundedness is kind of the foundation to operate from that place of love and creativity.
And I have to say, it's not always easy because we are not perfect. And yes, we have days where we actually not feeling okay and we are stressed. And that's when I would take the phone and it's like, Saina, can we meet for coffee? Need to understand how to go around. So we need that also human contact. We need the community. We need friends to help us go through. And sometimes it's one word that shifts your perspective. So we're not here to be perfect. We're not here like I'm always centered and I'm always calm and I'm always, no, it's like we're all human and we just learn to just have the observation and notice like, okay, I'm right now feeling triggered about something or I'm feeling scared, which is part of our experience. So it's just knowing when to ask for help.
Yeah.
What do we need to feel supported in that moment of time so that we can also support people who are depending on us or we are supporting in our lives.
And that brings me to my next question. A lot of times we get asked that question, as women, how do you manage that work-life balance, right? There's so much going on. But if you're leading from a place of presence and purpose, do you need to work on that work-life balance? What have you seen, or what would you give to the room, advice to all these women who are trying to hold it all together?
There is no work-life balance. That does not exist. And that's what I always tell my team. You know, I was looking back at the pictures of twins and how iPhone reminds you of that. And there is a period of their life that I was like, these are the pictures that my nanny sent me, and I don't have vivid memories of the weekends as well. It's the time I took over my role at Siemens Energy with a lot of the full P&L role. I was thrown into a business that was not functioning with a lot of expectation that Saina goes and turns it around again. And it was long hours. I would go to the office at like 8:30. I would leave at 6:30. And sleeping, I would dream about work. So it's a good, I would say, 8-9 months that I poured everything into that role. My trainer left Dubai. I was not working out. I would spend like 10-minute dedicated time with the twins in the morning and in the evening. So it was like I'm with them, but I was not there for me. And I could not be creative or do anything on the side. I would not go out. I was not social. I was constantly drained and exhausted. But I poured that into that work. So now my directors know my language. They can travel on my behalf. They run the business without me. I'm there now to help the business grow and direct. And same with Ilái Sarái and same with being there for the Queens. We go through seasons. And I just started working out again, going there every day, being there for myself. It's like, I don't remember the last time I did this for me. Now I would do my breath work to function. I would do my sauna cold plunge to function. But now I'm there for my body as well. I don't believe you can have it all. You know, there are days that I sit down and I prioritize. So what are the 3 things I do for me? And I have this and I used to do it religiously. Now it's automatic in me. What are the 5 areas of my life and what am I doing for them on a daily basis? And oftentimes the priority would go to work and kids. You know, so I wanted to do my breath work. I was exhausted. I wanted to have my dance class. I had to cancel. So maybe like really not a popular opinion, and comes the engagement survey results of the office complaining about work-life balance. Guys, let's face it. If you lead with purpose, and if you have the purpose, like for Ilái Sarái, I would come home after Siemens, I would spend hours, mood board, pattern, just that energizes me. Even my Siemens work energizes me, but you can't balance everything at the same time.
It sounds like it's about kind of what gives you that energy to keep your cup full so you don't feel depleted.
Absolutely.
And that comes with priorities.
And what drains me goes out. And that applies sometimes to people as well. And that stillness, that few months of being here and sitting with yourself and not being distracted, now I look back in my body, it's like, does this situation drain me? Like I went out, did it leave me energized or it left me drained? That phone call from a person that was gossiping the whole time or just constantly talks about war or this and that. And I've been very restrictive with my time and energy recently as well. I'm like, why I'm doing things that drain me? Who am I pleasing?
Yeah. And Zeina?
And that's a great way of bringing balance anyway. Like maybe there's, I think we get to really idealize this whole work-life balance more than actually what it is. And it's small little things that we do that actually can bring more awareness. I feel like what you're talking about as well here is like you're more aware of everything happening in your life. So you're aware how you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, and all of that. It brings balance to life because yes, we were talking yesterday about how sometimes there was a new project and someone was telling me, I feel I'm so much into my masculine energy. I need to bring it down. It's like, but actually let's be grateful to that masculine energy. I think we all have a lot of that here, especially we do amazing things. But let's say thank you, masculine energy, because I was able to do this. And now let's bring in our other side, which is more like receptive, which is more like flowing and receiving love. Let's bring more of that so that there is more balance. And that's more like a dance. It's not like one way makes it all happen in the same way. So it's always like few decisions we make in our lives, like, I don't know, not scrolling on our phones before sleeping, or not doing emails after 7 p.m. or whatever it is that makes things a little bit more balanced for us. And it's a different formula for each. And there's not this whole dream of like, yeah, I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna have the best life. And what about living our lives fully right now, and then making it every encounter and everything we do, make it an excitement. It's like, how am I feeling in this situation? How am I feeling with this person? And what am I adding? What am I bringing? So it becomes more of a internal balance outside as well. So that's my take on that.
So Saina, your art of becoming is built on a daily prompt that you have. Actually, you have a book with your daily prompts. And the idea is that it's an intention that sets the frequency for the rest of your day. And the idea is every morning you have to think about what is it that's going to shape who I am and who I'm becoming before the world comes in. I invite both of you to share a prompt, and especially for our group here.
Gosh, it's so alive in me. Is like, what am I letting go of today? My perfectionism, as I said. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to be mindful and present. I'm like, this is not the backdrop that's supposed to be on. You know? And there is this noise of the microphone and things are not perfect. The prompt is, what am I letting go? Perfectionism. Because these saboteurs are taking away from the joy. So it either you pay the price with your success because you're constantly so, particular about things. So you don't deliver projects online. You don't deliver because you want it to be perfect. You don't want to bring what is so creative because what if people say this and that? Or you pay the price of it with being in the present and being joyful, So instead of focusing on all these amazing moments that we're sharing, I'm like, why? It's not what it's supposed to be. It's a noise, and it's taking away from being in the present moment. So that's the prompt for today. What am I letting go?
Beautiful. And life isn't perfect, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Zeina.
So for me, in terms of intentions, it's always been, I find it a little bit complicated. Like, what do I set an intention for today? And then I start thinking of long sentences. My intention is this, and it's like, this is tiring, And sometimes I'm doing my work and I'm setting intentions like, this is like too much, And they say like, set your intention for the day. And then I was having a chat and it's like, then it just could be one word. Okay. So it became such a beautiful, much lighter way of thinking. And when I wake up in the morning and I'm having a moment to write something down, it's like my intention for today, it could be as simple as clarity. It could be as simple as loving myself. It could be as simple as communicate clearly. It could be as simple as gratitude. So every day is a different intention, and I'm finding it very light and very easy. And then I touch base with it during the day. And it's like, how am I doing with this? And it's been a beautiful exercise that I've been doing over the past weeks. So today was, my intention was clarity, so that whatever I am sharing is able to be received by all of you in a way that resonates. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we invite everyone to recognize what's alive in you today, and let that be your invitation, your prompt. Just similar to the Saba, the morning breeze, You don't have to chase it. You just have to be still enough for it to come to you and receive it. I want to thank Saina and Zeina so much for this conversation today, and everyone here in the room for your presence. And of course, the staff, thank you very much.
Thank you, Reem.
Thank you,
so
Reem.
much.
Thank you, everyone.